crafty friends, it's Andrea from Prairie Sky Papercrafts, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Manitoba. It's time for another case day, copy and selectively edit. Today I have chosen page 160 out of the 2022-23 annual catalog, and this is the design that I'm going to copy today. I am keeping the wash idea. I've got a different punch that I'm going to use for the sentiment. And I've got Forever Fern is a stamp set that I'm going to be using. But for the watercolor wash, I'm actually using blends today. It's a really fun technique and I haven't done it in a while. So I thought I would revisit it. So I'm just going to stick my catalog off to the side and then we're going to get busy. Push some stuff out of the way. All right. So I have got a piece of Sun Prints Designer Series paper. Kind of flows with the botanical feel that I'm wanting to do with this card. I've got a piece of Bermuda Bay, which is going to match the marker that I'm using. The other marker that I'm using is dark balmy blue. I've got a piece of Whisper White, Basic White, that I am going to be stamping on. And I forgot to grab the name of these. But, ooh, sorry about that. I didn't realize it was going to be so loud when I opened it. I've got these vellum sheets that are so much fun. There's patterns and just the plain solid. So I'm actually going to grab the plain solid today. I'll use these again really soon. And then we can kind of figure out where we're going to go from there. All right, so I'm going to put our white over here so that, sorry, something in my eye, so that we don't get sidetracked. And the other thing that you're going to need for this is rubbing alcohol. I prefer to use the higher concentration. This is 70, it'll work. The higher the percentage, the better it'll work. So I'm going to take the brush end, and I'm not going to do the entire thing, but I'm just going to go kind of side to side, like half-ish, maybe not quite. And of course, the more color that you layer, the darker it'll get. Now, you don't have to worry about it drying too much. It does take a little bit longer on vellum, but because this is, the alcohol markers are permanent, it won't run the same way that doing watercolor on vellum will. Now, it does curl a little bit. If you want to circumvent that, you can hold it down, tape it down with some washi tape or painter's tape, or even the masking paper that Stampin' Up! Has in the annual catalog as well. Now, there's a few ways that I like to apply the alcohol. Spritz is lovely. Flick, just put it on a toothbrush or something. Today, I'm just going to drip and drop, and you'll see that as it's being dropped, it's going to create a bit of a different look. You can flick it with your finger. And if you don't like what you're doing, you can actually go over the entire sheet again with rubbing alcohol and basically erase what you just did. And because it dries quickly, you don't have to worry too much. Now, the higher percentage of rubbing alcohol will dry faster. I am going to grab my heat tool here and just give it a quick blast. Ooh, okay, well then. So what happens when you live in the country? You get spiders on your desk. Well then. Things you never expect to happen. All right. Not sure why he decided my heat tool would be a good spot to live, but to each their own, I suppose. Okay, so our alcohol is dry, our blends are dry, and now we're going to start to assemble our card. So I am going to put okay, this one is, I'm hoping it'll last. We'll see. Oh, actually, before we get started, I'm going to do a paper saver. So I want to, is that going to be enough of, yeah, it should be. So paper saver is just taking and punching your shape out of your matte layer first, because it's going to be hidden behind designer series paper, and it's going to be hidden on your card base. So, oops, that was just a little too close to the edge. There we go. Okay, so then I'm going to place this. Now you can tell the right way and the wrong way. First of all, by the way it's curling, and second of all, it's darker on the right side and softer on the light side. So yeah, I think that'll be good. Vellum is also a bit challenging sometimes to use that one and the smaller one. I'm going to stamp in gray and black today. Vellum can be a little bit challenging sometimes to adhere to your paper. So there's a few things that you can use. You can camouflage with fussy cutting and die cut, which is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to use the punch pieces to kind of hide where our piece is. Or you can also use, just hunting for a stamp block. You can also use the dots, and that will help you in camouflaging your stuff. Or the other thing that you could use as well, so adhesive sheets, dots, or if you wanted to, oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought completely. Just the regular adhesive. Did not clean this last time. Baby wipe to the rescue. So then you can just go ahead and stamp. I'm going to move it off to the side because I'm going to do kind of not, there we go. Yeah, I really like how that looks. Maybe I won't use the small one. Maybe I'll just use the big one today. This would be a really lovely sympathy card, I think. But I'm going to do a hello. Okay, so there we go. That's done. There are several different ways that you can clean your stamps as well. You can just run them under hot water. You can use a baby wipe. You can use your simple chamois, your scrub. I like using my chamois as it's quick and easy. You just keep it in a regular stamp case. Keep it a little bit damp. And you're good to go. Okay, I'm going to put this away. I'm going to bring out the hello and leave that there. I think I am going to use a small one actually. Where did I put my punch? So I've got Bermuda Bay, which is my base layer color. I am going to do a punch as well for white, which is what I'm going to use for my sentiment layer. Or actually, I punched both sizes out of both. I'm just going to wait and see which way I'm going to go. So I'm going to do that, or am I going to do that? Actually, that's what we're going to do. We're going to use 3 layers. So Oh dear, there it is. Okay, good. Trouble with small stamps is they tend to meander off. And then I'm just going to do it in black. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment on Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to layer it up with the white and then on top of Bermuda Bay. So trusty Memento to the rescue. I'm going to stamp. Put it back in the case so we don't lose it. So we're going to do a layer of white. I'm going to go off to the side slightly. And then make sure that we're still on our piece of Bermuda Bay. So it just gives it a nice little highlight area. And now we're going to adhere our vellum. I'm going to do a tiny little piece in the corners, because I'm going to use a gem on each corner. And then, oops, a line where I'm going to put my sentiment. Stick this guy down. So using the catalog as inspiration is always so much fun, because you never know what you're going to end up with. You can use the design, you could use the layout, the colors, the stamp set, and then just put your own spin on it. And really, whatever way you want to do it is the right way. Okay, so I offset our image here slightly. So the cardstock's angled, DSP is straight. Yeah, I think we're going to use dimensionals for sentiment. So I'm just going to do one at each end and one roughly in the center. Stick this guy back before I forget and lose him. A friend of mine one time was looking for her stamp for ages and ended up having it stuck to her elbow. I've had them stuck to the bottom of my trimmer before. All right, so there's our card. I'm going to add some champagne bling to it. I love these champagne rhinestones. They're so pretty. Take your pick. There you are. And then the design in the catalog only had 2, but I'm going to do one on each corner, just roughly where I put my adhesive, so it kind of hides where it is. Actually, with the patterned designer series paper behind, you can't really see where I placed the adhesive either, which is kind of nice. And then I'm just going to do 3 right here. Stick it back into the case, or the envelope, I should say. So in August, I'm going to be doing an online virtual class. It's a week-long stamp camp, creative camp, where we're going to be doing stash busting. So I'll post the link for that down below so you can take a peek if you're interested. It does start on August the 15th, but it will be available. It is a virtual thing, so it will be available for a while. If you're interested, please drop me a line or check it out. And if you're in Canada and would like to shop with me, I would love to be your demonstrator. So you can get in contact with me about that as well. Our card is done. So let's do a quick little comparison. So again, I used Forever Fern. And here is the inspiration. And this is what we ended up with. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon.